Picture 2 mornings. First, a dim workshop a century ago. Someone opens a notebook, reads a single line of purpose, and gets to work. Then, your place today. Phone face down, a small card on your desk that says cadence, first task, tiny minimum. Different eras. Same idea. A few small moves that set the day before the day sets you. Now, here's why that matters. When high performers start with intention, they don't wait for motivation. They create momentum. And when we bring that forward to today, James Clear's simple rules translate the same wisdom into modern practice. Make the good action easy, make the bad action hard, start so small you can't skip, and keep a streak you're proud of. So, let's build your morning like a control panel you can actually run. First, we'll lock a rhythm. Next, we'll make starting effortless. Then we'll protect your best 30 to 60 minutes. Finally, we'll close with a one-line map so the rest of the day stays honest. To begin, set a cadence you can feel in your bones. For creators, that might be publish Wednesday and Sunday at 7 p.m. For builders, it could be ship one useful block before 9 a.m. Either way, cadence beats vague intentions because a clock is easier to obey than a mood. From there, let's drop into the simple sequence. First, move for 2 minutes, walk the hallway, stretch your spine, do a few push-ups. Because chemistry shapes clarity, a tiny pulse of movement flips your system from sleepy to ready. Next, make for 15 to 60 minutes. No inbox, no feed, no scrolling. Just one high-leverage block. Draft the hook, write the query, fix the bug, record the take. Then, map for 3 minutes, write 3 lines on a card. Top 1, admin 2, personal 3. If it's not on the card, it's not today. But what if time is tight? Then compress without quitting. Instead of skipping, run a travel version. 1 minute of breath and stretch, 6 minutes of making something real, 3 minutes of mapping the day. Because scope can shrink, but schedule stays sacred. Meanwhile, let's make starting nearly automatic. Before bed, lay out the next morning like a runway. Editor open, checklist printed, headphones on the desk, camera charged, lighting set. As a result, you won't negotiate with yourself. You'll arrive and begin. At this point, we need 2 guardrails that keep the routine alive when life gets loud. First, the 2-minute rule. When you resist, start the smallest slice. Open the doc, write 1 true sentence, add 1 example. Second, the never miss twice rule. If a morning slips, do a 5-minute make block before lunch and restore the chain. Because streaks protect identity, and identity protects streaks. Now let's anchor the identity you're building. Every time you show up, say 1 sentence out loud. I keep small promises to myself. Because words direct attention, and attention drives action, your brain will look for the next small promise to keep. Next, let's give you a working set of prompts so you don't stall. If you create, start with, what's 1 problem my viewer has at 2 a.m. and what's 1 step that eases it tonight? If you analyze, start with, what's the cleanest question my data can answer in 25 minutes? If you manage, start with, what's the 1-page brief that will declutter my team's day? With a clear entry question, the first sentence practically writes itself. Then, when you sit to write, speak, code, or plan, remember a simple flow that moves work forward without drama. Hook, outline 3 beats. Draft the first 200 words or 90 seconds. Edit once, save, and ship or schedule. Because steps reduce friction, you'll spend less willpower deciding and more energy doing. Of course, resistance will show up. So when it does, change the room, not your goal. Put the phone in another room, close the door, use noise-blocking earbuds, set a 25-minute timer, and tell yourself, I can stop when the bell rings. Paradoxically, a clear stop time makes it easier to start. Meanwhile, quality grows from quantity if you learn while doing. Therefore, after each make block, jot a 1-line debrief. What worked, what dragged, what I'll test next. Keep it short, honest, and practical. Over weeks, those 1-liners add up to a private coach, whispering smarter choices. Now let's stack this into a 14-day morning sprint you can start tonight. First, Write your one-sentence purpose and tape it above your desk. Next, choose your cadence and define your minimums. Move 2 minutes, make 15 minutes, map 3 minutes, then prep your environment so the good action is the easy action. On days 1 through 3, run the small version to build the streak. Because early wins create attachment, you'll look forward to the mark on your calendar. On days 4 and 7, ship something, even if it's smaller than you hoped. Since schedule beats scope, publishing a 90-second legacy mini still moves the mission forward. On days 8 through 10, test one upgrade per post: a stronger cold open, crisper thumbnail copy, or a clearer CTAA. Because single variable tests teach clean lessons, you'll know what caused the lift. On days 11 through 14, add accountability. Text a partner, a photo of your calendar each night. And finally, at day 14, reward the streak with something small and satisfying: a favorite coffee, a quiet walk, a new notebook. But what about those mornings when you feel flat? Then lean on anchors, not inspiration. After coffee, outline one idea. After lunch, draft one paragraph. After a walk, edit one page. Since anchors already exist, your new habit will hitch a ride on routines you trust. At the same time, watch for the traps that kill momentum. Perfection whispers that nothing counts unless it's flawless. Answer with minimum counts, quality grows. Vague tasks drain focus. Answer with verbs you can check: draft, record, export, upload. Export, upload. Late nights, steal mornings. Answer by protecting sleep, like a standing meeting with your future self. As we go, tie emotion to the routine, so repetition becomes ritual. Before you begin, picture one person your work will help tonight. The anxious student at 2 a.m., the teammate buried under noise, the parent who needs a clear next step. Because meaning fuels consistency, that single face will pull you into action more reliably than any pep talk. Then, when you close the block, park the win in plain sight. Write one line: what I shipped and what I'll test next, and leave it where tomorrow's you will see it. Since continuity is half the battle, your future self will sit down already aimed. Now step back and notice what you've built. First, you created a morning that proves who you are before the world distracts you. Next, you protected one block that compounds into a body of work. Then, you turned a schedule into a streak, and a streak into an identity. Finally, you learned in public, which is the quickest route to better. And yes, there will be misses. So when they come, don't rewrite your story. Adjust your scope. If the long video isn't ready, post the 90-second insight. If the full workout won't fit, do 10 minutes of mobility. If the deep dive is too heavy, ship one clean slide. Because consistency is presence, not perfection, you'll keep trust with yourself and your audience. Before we finish, let's make tomorrow vivid. You wake, you move for 2 minutes. You sit, you make one proof while it's still quiet. You map 3 lines. You stand up lighter because the real thing is already done. Then the day arrives, but you've already decided the direction. That's not magic, that's management. So, here's your closing cue. Tonight, set the desk, place the card, write the sentence: I publish 2 useful episodes each week that teach one step people can use tonight. Then, set the alarm and smile once, because you just made an easy promise your morning self will keep. And tomorrow, when the moment comes, begin. Move for 2, make for 15 to 60, map for 3, mark the box, and carry that quiet confidence into everything else. Because from then to now, the ritual hasn't changed. Show up small, show up early, and show up again. Until the results look like magic to everyone else and simply honest to you.